Good morning, everybody. Today is Saturday morning, and I decided to make a real quick video because I'm walking around my house straightening up and doing some cooking. My mom's coming over for brunch, and I'm walking around and I'm like, people should just see what our house looks like on any given day. Well, not really because it's a mess, but what our house looks like on any given day because we are trying to live eco-friendly and sustainable and plastic-free. Like, it's a little bit ridiculous how much it takes over our house. And I'm like, I want to share this with people so that they see the reality. I want to be completely honest. It's not easy being eco-friendly. I think Kermit the Frog said it way back when. It's not easy being green. And I think what he meant was that it takes over your house. So I just wanted to show you a few things. So I am telling you right now that our house is a mess, so please don't judge. But it's not easy to do, and I want you to feel like if you are trying this journey to be, more plastic free and more eco-friendly, and your house is becoming this crazy place, you are not alone. It's for a good cause. And, if you have any great ideas of ways to make it easier, I would love to hear about them. So let's take a look what we have going on here. Okay, so the first little thing I can show you is our compost pile. So we have chickens, so we don't really compost. Sorry for all the beeping. That's my timer going off on my oven. So we have chickens, so we don't really have necessarily a dedicated compost pile. We have an area in the chicken yard where we bring out all of our food scraps that are not meat based, and we put them out there, and the chickens actually do the work of composting it for us, which is really cool. So I have no idea. I'm making some sort of vegan bar, and I have no idea if it's done. But anyway, so what we do is every day there's like scraps and scraps, because we also are trying to eat like nutritarian, which just means as many plants or as many fruits and vegetables as possible. So because of that, we wind up with tons and tons and tons of scraps. And so every single day on our counter, you will find a gigantic bin of vegetable and fruit scraps. So, for example, over here, so I cut up some melons and we had some leftover grapes that had started to go really kind of wonky. There's coffee grounds in here, all sorts of stuff. So literally every day we're bringing a scrap pile out to the chickens. And if there's any food in the fridge, we absolutely try to not have any wasted food, because obviously it's better if you cannot waste any food. But at the same time, because we have our chickens and we feed our chickens and we buy them food, us giving them some leftover scraps from our own kitchen isn't necessarily the worst thing that we could do. So we always have a compost pile on the counter. And that might look ugly when people come over, but it's the reality. Let's take a look at the next thing. Okay, so the next thing is that we recycle whatever we possibly can. We try and buy as little plastic as possible, but there's some things that we just haven't, got to figure out yet how to buy plastic free. Every single day, it's a work in progress. So with that in mind, we always have a gigantic pile of recycling. So we have to rinse all of our recycling. So like this was a takeout container, lots of cans, cartons is a big thing. And we rinse them all because otherwise they don't get picked up. They get picked up, but then they could go into the contamination pile, at the recycling center, which then is just going to go in the garbage, and what the heck is the point to begin with? So we try and have as clean of recycling as possible. So what we wind up with, this is actually a good day. We always, our towel that we would normally put dishes on to dry has really become the dish/recycling drying mat, because we always have recycling. This was from a party. We had a Halloween party and we have leftover soda. I don't want you to think that we always have a lot of soda in the house because we actually really never do. The boys are really excited that we do. And then we get our paper towels. This is another thing. So we use these paper towels instead of paper towels, and then just an entire drawer. I actually have 2 drawers full of towels to use instead of paper towels, which our kids have had to adjust to that big time when they, make a mess or clean up a spill, that they have to use those instead. Now, with that in mind, what happens is our laundry room is upstairs. So let's say you have something spill and you want to clean it up with one of those towels, then you have to go all the way upstairs to put it in the laundry room. And let's be real, we have 2 teenage boys, and the 2 of us, that's not going to happen. So we always have a laundry pile at the bottom of our stairs. So there's the laundry pile with towels in it. So, every day, every few days, we will pick up that pile and bring it upstairs and do, our towels and wash them. And then there's always a load coming back down. So lots of towels being exchanged on a daily basis. And on the same token, we use fabric napkins instead of paper napkins. So we have big piles. This is our fall stuff. Don't mind our computer cords everywhere. I should have straightened up better. So we always have stacks of towels, hand napkins here because we don't use the paper napkins. So, that's another thing to add onto the table that you might not have, think you have room for. But if you're using paper napkins, you usually have a paper napkin holder. So in our minds, it's like, okay, it's the same difference. All right, so the next thing is also in the kitchen, and it is our ever-growing bulk selection here. So, and our straws. All right, so we don't use regular straws. We have some paper straws left over from events we've had, and then some metal straws and some reusable plastic straws. My hair is real funky today. I apologize. So we always have all of these jars all over our counter, because I try and put them up here in the cabinet, but then there are some that we use on a daily basis that I wouldn't necessarily want to just keep. I don't know, it's just a pain. So we try and straighten this up as much as possible, but let's see, what do we have here? We have apricots, cashews, craisins, pitted dates, pumpkin seeds, raisins, popcorn kernels, raw almonds. This is more raw almonds. I forgot my produce bag, so I used a paper bag from the bulk section. Dried mango. And then up top, we've got, so much chia seeds, hemp seeds, raw walnuts, Brazil nuts, sunflower seeds, sesame seeds, steel cut oatmeal. And then we always have other jars over here. I use this big tub from pretzels. I use that to water my plants, so that's sometimes out to dry. We have these big ones that I will go to the bakery and the shop that we go to, and I will get the bagels that they make fresh there, and then I'll bring them home instead, because our kids like bagels, instead of getting the Thomas's bagels in the plastic bag. So we usually have that big jar there. Trying to think what else we have in our kitchen that is from us being sustainable. I think that's pretty much it. I mean, we have our chickens, so there's always an abundance of eggs on the counter. Also, trying to live as eco-friendly as possible, having our chickens as part of that. Okay, now the next thing is our shopping bags. So we have so many shopping bags that are reusable, so many. It's kind of ridiculous, and it's a pain in the butt to store them. So years past, we used to store them in the pantry, but then when you would go to I gotta show you the pantry. That one's a wreck. When we would go to the grocery store, we wouldn't have them, and I'd be like, oh. So I usually keep them in my car, but sometimes when we have, if we're going on a trip or whatever, I have to take them out of the car. So what I wind up with is this stack of bags that, this is like a billion bags for shopping, and we just put them close to the exit of our house, which is right here, so that when we do walk out of the house, we don't forget them. So with that in mind, let me show you some of my favorite must-have shopping bags. So we always love these big refrigerator or not refrigerator, but they're like the cooler style. And inside a cooler bag, I will always have smaller little bags that we use. This was just like a little gift tote that somebody gave my husband, Mr. Bittner, and it's perfect for getting things in the bulk section or getting some little small fruit like lemons. I always have like paper bags in here in case I forget produce bags. I literally walk into the store with a thing of, whatchamacallit, paper bags. And these were actually Sustainable Forestry Initiative. It says on there, so they were actually not made by deforestation, which is great. So I love these freezer bags, but my absolute favorite, I've got another big freezer bag here. My absolute favorite things that you must have are these produce bags. They're fantastic. Get these for people for their Christmas gifts, for holiday gifts. These are great. So I don't only put produce in them. I put the things for the bulk section, the cashews, the almonds. They all fit in there really, really great. So I just throw them right into my freezer bag and walk in. And the other must-have, and I'm not calling out the brand, but ladies, you might know the brand, are these big totes. Okay, big tote. I'm going to call it out. It's 31. So if you know anybody that sells 31, this is a great holiday gift for the purpose of grocery shopping, which a lot of people don't necessarily think of using them for. But now I will say that they get very heavy, but it makes it so easy. Like I literally I put that on the bottom of the shopping cart, like underneath when I walk in. Then I put everything onto the conveyor belt to check out, and I pop that right into my cart with my freezer bag next to it, like they fit next to each other in the cart. And then all the cold stuff, I don't even bag on the end of the conveyor belt. I bag it on the in the cart, and I put all of the stuff that's cold in the freezer bag and all the rest of the stuff right into the tote. And then it does get heavy, but it's like part of my workout. And then I just walk out of the store with those, and it's a time saver for sure. And it makes unbagging things when you get home super easy. So that's that. One more thing before I show you the dreaded pantry is our bathroom. So we also use hand towels, but sometimes, but sometimes people like to use their own hand towel. So our bathrooms, we usually have stacks of hand towels and then a little garbage bin for used hand towels. Like if somebody doesn't want to use, the regular hand towel that's been there, which, totally get. So our bathrooms have that. All right, now let me show you two other things. We always have a gigantic stack of plastic bags that we have to take to trucks to be recycled. Not just plastic bags, but vegetable bags that we've recycled. What else is in here? Toilet paper bag that, that they come in. And I will take this entire bag, I will shove it into another plastic bag, like a bigger one, and I will bring it to Target and drop it into the Trex recycling bin in the entranceway or by the customer service of Target. My family is very cooperative with this, my husband. So I really appreciate that. I mean, it's like these little things, they go into the Trex bag. So by our recycling drying mat, we often always have plastic bags drying because, when you make a steamable bag of broccoli, which we're trying to buy fresh broccoli now and get away from that, but when you do that for a quick, dinner, it's best to rinse it out real quick. My husband does a good job cutting them open because it just makes the rinsing them so much easier and drying. And then we dry them there. All right, so let's take a look at our pantry. I apologize in advance, but it's not, first of all, we have to keep the garbage in here because of this girl right here. Oh, cute, but you're very bad with the garbage, aren't you, Lou? Can you say hi? Hi. So she's a garbage knocker over. She's a garbage eater. So we have to keep our garbage in here. Okay. This is not clean at all. I apologize. So this is our pantry. It's gigantic. One of the big perks of the house. So we always have in here our garbage, but then our bottles and cans recycling, as well as a gigantic bin of cardboard and paper recycling. And sometimes if there's too much, the plastic bags for the trucks, like I'll hide them in here. Those will go in here as well. Then we also have, so unfortunately our municipality does not recycle cartons, like cardboard cartons, like, you know, milk, the vegetable broth, stuff like that. So I rinse them, I wash them, I squish them, and then I put them into a box. And so I have a gigantic box, and when that's all ready, and because they're cleaned out, there's no smell or anything, which is obviously a must. When they're all cleaned out, then I will take them and I will ship them to a cardboard recycling center, which sucks because it's expensive. But I am hopeful. I sign petitions all the time. I'm hopeful that our local municipality will start recycling them, and if not, I can find a more an easier option than getting to the post office and paying an arm and a leg for shipping things just to be recycled. But in my mind, we have to do our part, and if I'm the one buying the product, then I should be the one that's responsible for recycling the product. So even though it could definitely be made easier if the manufacturer didn't use multiple materials and blah, 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 the whole thing. So anyway, that is a snapshot of what our house looks like on a daily basis because of our commitment to be eco-friendly and our commitment to, taking care of the planet by being responsible product owners and responsible consumers. And it's hard. It's not easy. Your house is not always going to be spotless. Like, it takes over counter space, and it takes up some table space, and it takes up some storage space in your pantry if you are lucky enough to have a pantry. Otherwise, I don't know what you do if you put the things outside, whatever you do. It's not easy, but in our opinions, it's so worth it for, peace of mind that we're doing our part to keep the earth as beautiful as possible for future generations, because that's what it's really about for our kids and our kids' kids and their kids. So anyway, thanks so much for following along today. And if you have any questions or suggestions or ways that you do things to make them a little bit easier on your own household, feel free to let me know, comment, and all that. All right, guys, have a great day.